All right. So obviously we here, we're gonna talk about, something that might not be talked about often. This team that might be slept on by a lot. You get what I'm saying? Obviously, we know why, the DeRozan trade, obviously, DeRozan to the Bulls. And we're gonna talk about it because there is some questions, but there is some things going under the radar. There is some things that aren't being, accounted for. And, overall, people have been saying it's going to be elite, and some people have been saying it's not going to be elite. It's kind of like a 50-50. Actually, a lot of people are saying it's going to be elite in terms of the Bulls, their new roster. Obviously, we go down the line. We know that Lonzo Ball signed there as well. So Lonzo Ball is there. Zach LaVine is there. That's their starting lineup. Lonzo Ball, Zach LaVine, DeMar, the three. It should be Patrick Williams. I don't like Daniel Tice being at the four, but you never know what they're going to do. Patrick Williams or Daniel Tice, and then you got Nikola Vukovic, right? At the five. And, Vukovic was an all-star last year. Zach LaVine was an all-star last year. And DeRozan, he hasn't been an all-star since he went to the West, right? Obviously, the West is stacked. So, but he's basically an all-star caliber player. So you got a big three there. And, Lonzo basically adds to the big four. And when you look at it from that perspective, it's a great team. Then you still have Kobe White off the bench, and Alex Caruso now signed there as well. And it's just like, you've been seeing a whole shift in terms of the Bulls, and you can kind of see it ever since they did the Vukovic trade, which is why I was excited, because once they did the Vukovic trade, you could see obviously in Chicago now they're like, okay, it's easier for us to now get somebody, right? Which hence DeRozan went there. Lonzo Ball went there, right? Because you can kind of see the progression, and they're just missing those boom, boom, boom players right away. So the fact that they have that, it can kind of give, and people have the anticipation that, okay, you know what? This team is going to be elite. This team is solid. This team is, what elite looks like. We could see it, especially when you look at the wings. You have LaVine, you have DeRozan, like running down the wings in your fast break. That's literally like, that's like Vincent T-Mac type of thing, right? That's literally like, bro, that's crazy, man. When you look at it from that perspective, it's just, you have straight athletic guys, D Wade, kind of D Wade LeBron type of thing, right? Just graceful athleticism. It's just, elite athleticism in terms of that. So, you haven't had that, especially for the Bulls, in a minute. And, similar to, I guess, like a more athletic version of Scotty and MJ in terms of down the wings or whatever. Like, that's what you're having now coming downhill in fast break. Like the transition. Then you have Lonzo Ball who can pass. Like their transition game is going to be crazy. I can already smell it. I can smell it. I can feel it in the air. You know what I'm saying? But, obviously now, and Alex Caruso too has bouncy himself. So you have a lot of athletic guys going down the wings. Patrick Williams as well too. Io as well too. You know what I mean? So you got a lot of athletic guys, and Javonte Green too. And, you could see it where it's like, okay, this is a team that it could be a force to be reckoned with for real in the East. They could be a top 4 seed, like they could just jump like that. And let's analyze though. Let's analyze, because I struggle with the fit in terms of just thinking about it basketball wise, from an eye test perspective, and just assessing who is who, not necessarily who is who, but who does what, whose strength is what, and tendencies, right? And just play styles, and skill sets. When you look at it, I can kind of see a clash a little bit in terms of DeRozan. Now, we know DeRozan can shoot the midi. It's not like he can't shoot at all and stuff like that. He can shoot the midi, and you've seen LaVine thrive in his role and thrive. So, so let me explain it like this. If they want to play, if I don't know the mindset and the mentality of Lonzo and LaVine coming into the season before DeRozan got there or whatever. Like, I don't know the mindset. What I mean by that is, Lonzo is someone who's ready to take that breakout, take that leap, take that jump in his career. Because if you look at him, he's only shot for his career 39% from the field, which is atrocity. Only 40% from the field. 41 last year, 41 the year before, 41 the year before, 36, right? And it's his 5th year now. And his field goal percentage has been atrocious. Normally, for good field goal percentage, you want somewhere between 40, at worst 44, right? And even then, that's below average, but you want 45. Between 45, 47 is gravy, is Gucci, right? That's above average. That's clean. That's good. That's pretty efficient. And anywhere 48 to 49 is like, God damn, that boy efficient. And 50 above is like supreme efficiency, right? So anything below 45 is normally you're seen as an inefficient guy. Even some people at 45, like when Harden was at 45 that year, he was, what Houston, he's been at 45. They see him as inefficient, right? So, 45. And so imagine 40%. Like, that's horrendous. That's atrocity. That's low. That's not great at all. But his 3-point percentage has increased. His 3-point percentage went from 30% in his rookie year to 32 to now he's at 38 twice. He did 38% twice, which is basically 40. 40% is elite. 45% is hella elite in terms of 3-point shooting. When you're in between like the 36 to 38 type of range, that's above average. You're Gucci. That's, Devin Booker. A lot of scorers are in that range. Dame, stuff like that. So you're still elite when it comes to shooting, but you're just not hella elite. Well, and that's different. If you're doing 38%, on and it's difficult shots and difficult threes and stuff like that, step backs, it's not just catch and shoot, then that's elite, right? In terms of 45% on a lot of catch and shoot or 40% on a lot of catch and shoot is hella elite. So when you're taking difficult threes, 35 to 36, 37, 38, 37, 38-ish, that type of range, or 38 to 40, anywhere in that is known as elite. So, that's obviously Lonzo has been taking somewhat difficult shots, not OD, but somewhat. But even his catch and shoot has improved. And you look at Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine is somebody who, for his career, is shooting 38% from three. You know what I'm saying, right? So it's like he's been elite from three for a while. 39%, then 39%, then 34. He dropped, then 37. Then the year before last year, 38, and then last year his career high, and he was at 42% from the three. He basically was 50-40-90 last year. Just was 50-40-85, right? So, 50-42-85. So when you look at it from that perspective, like Zach LaVine's shooting is hella elite. So you have guys that could shoot, in terms of Lonzo could shoot, can spot up. Like Zach LaVine could spot up and stuff like that. But what I was saying in terms of the mental aspect coming into the season is Lonzo coming there to break out where he wants to finally, because in every situation, he hasn't really been the PG. He has been at times, but it's kind of like it's switched up. It's not a consistent run, usage rate, ball handler. I'm the primary ball handler and everything else second. It hasn't been like that. He's been sharing duties all the time since he got to LA. He's been sharing duties with Lonzo Ingram, and I think Lonzo Ingram at the same time, right? Lonzo Ingram. Then now you look after that, and even someone else was also ball handling. I forgot who it probably was, but other people were ball handling as well too. Then you look at it, now he goes to New Orleans, it's the same thing. Lonzo Ingram, the same type of ball handler, play initiator. Then you add now Zion, especially last year, where they gave him playmaking, ball handling duties. And, you've seen it's like Lonzo has never had every other point guard you see him kind of rated against, De'Aaron Fox or this guy. They're a ball handling majority of the times, right? They choose when they don't want to ball handle, or they choose when not to ball handle and stuff like that. They're kind of dictating the pace. They control the pace. They control everything. Lonzo, sometimes he does when he's hot, or sometimes at times, but then the other guy has to, and then the other guy has to, and then it's kind of like it's always been a clash, in terms of just him sacrificing because other mans are thriving with ball handling. So Lonzo, you would think coming into this season, maybe his mindset before even DeRozan got added was, I'm coming in as the main PG. I'm signing the dotted line. Maybe he didn't know DeRozan was coming. I'm signing the dotted line. I'm coming in as the main PG. And Zach LaVine, you could play off ball. So that ain't no question. And you'll still be able to eat, because Lonzo does give mans the ball to eat without even having to have an assist or whatever. He just throw it to the man and go to the corner like he does at bare times, right? So, Zach LaVine will be able to eat, and then still Vuk will be able to get it in the post. But regardless, Lonzo is the main primary ball handler when it comes to how they move it. And that's why I said that mentality coming in. Is he have that same mentality, or does he have the mentality of, DeRozan doesn't really shoot well, and he's been doing better ball handling with the Spurs, having high rebounds, high assists, ball handling, and basically not shooting threes, obviously, because threes is his weakness and is his kryptonite. But he's been ball handling, play initiating, doing all that type of stuff. And then because every other person can shoot at the three, but he can't really shoot at the three. So him ball handling forces him kind of like a Westbrook to have the ball in his hand. But DeRozan's going to pull up. DeRozan's going to shimmy. DeRozan's going to post fade. Stuff like that. He doesn't need to go to the paint to score. So when you look at it from that perspective, the point is, basically that DeRozan, if he was off the ball, he would shrink the floor. So he has to be on the ball handle, and all the other guys. Like, you have to, that's where you gauge, right? Coming in. Like, when you look at it, for this to work, DeRozan is like, okay, he's shooting percentage from three is what, 25%? Like, it's atrocity, right? 25%, 28% in the last 2 years. And the 3 years ago, he had 16%, then 31 and 26 and 30. Like, just horrendous 3-point percentages for a total of, in his basically his NBA career right now is 28% from three. So that's horrendous from three. That's just atrocity. That's why people say he's like, he's kind of outdated. He's a guy who would have thrived in the old era, right? But when you look at it from that perspective, the point is he is the weakest shooter. Even Vucevic, I'm pretty sure, shot the lights out from three, right? Vucevic, he shot 35% from three. He shoots 35% from three for his career, 36, and he shot 40% last year from three, right? So it's like, bruh, he shot 40% last year from three. The year before that was 33. The year before that was 36. So he's actually a shooter, averaging 23, 40% from three. Like, you know what I mean? He's nice with it. He's basically doing KD efficiency from three. Maybe not as much attempts, but that's what he's doing. He's fit 40% from three. As a big, that's crazy, right? That's like a big going 40% from three is like a guard shooting 45% from three. Like, you know what I mean? You have to have context to everything. Like, our 40% and the guards 40% are the same 40% if I'm Vucevic being the big. Like, as a big to shoot 40% is crazy, right? So that's like you're barely missing. Anyways, but everybody, Vucevic, Levine, right? Lonzo Ball could shoot. So DeMar DeRozan would be the one have to ball handling, play initiate, and do all of that because he can't shoot, right? So, or can't shoot well. So when you look at it, it's kind of like that's the way it would work. But at the same time, is Lonzo really coming in mentally where it's like, dog, I'm trying to do this same New Orleans shit again where I barely have the ball and someone else is play initiating? Is Levine, who was doing a lot of play initiating last year, not that he just lived and died off of it, that's why he averages 27. No, he had Kobe White there. He had other mans there that were ball handling. Satoransky, Satoransky, I think he went to, was he still there? Yeah, he's there. Other guys ball handling, and you're kind of like, okay, Levine sharing duties with them as well too, but he did, I'll probably say maybe 60% of the ball handling. So is Levine also gonna sacrifice his ball handling duties for DeRozan as well too, and let him be the main play initiator like he was in the Spurs? And that's something that is yet to be seen. That's something that, I don't know what their mindset is, and that's what I'm equating. That's why I'm like, the fit questions are an issue, because if someone is coming in where they want to do this and they want to do that, then DeRozan's going to be off the ball majority of the times, and that's going to clash. That's going to be like, man's are going to sag off, help off of that, force him to shoot, all that type of stuff. So you're going to see a clash. So, when you look at it from that perspective, I always said that, at the end of the day, like I was saying, at the end of the day, you got to understand that DeRozan, for this to work, has to ball handle. And I don't know if those guys are in the mindset and mentality ready for that, or they're I don't know. I don't know what Levine's thinking. I don't know what Lonzo's thinking, right? If I had to guess, especially Levine, maybe he wants more ball handling duties, right? Lonzo as well too. So you never know what they told him, especially Lonzo on the pitch. You never know if they said the guarantee they're getting DeRozan. You don't know if they said no, they not. You don't know if you don't know what's been said. So I kind of just have to wait for that to come out. But I just use IQ, and I just at the end of the day, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. So when you look at it from that perspective, like I was saying, man, that's where my question is for the fit, right? That's where my question is, like I was saying, for the fit when it comes to that from DeRozan's end. But on the flip side of that, this is something that could be special. and it has potential to be like hella high like this, and actually has potential to maybe, you know, be a tier under the Nets and stuff like that. Maybe, be threatening with the Celtics and all of that type of stuff. Well, they had a Schroeder too, and they have their big three as well. But, on threat and maybe the tier lower than the Nets. When you look at it, it's just like in terms of DeMar DeRozan, I think this is the time. This is the year. This is the time for him to actually, like, we already know he has a mid-range bag. We already know, he has the post fades and he has all the bag in the midi, the paint and all that type of stuff, floaters, all of that. But this is the time for him to actually gain a three-point shot or actually spread the floor and actually, like, be a marksman. And I'm hoping that he's doing this in the offseason because he's knowing, like, dog, can you really just play initiate? Are you really going to take Lonzo out to play initiation? Maybe you play initiate at time, but are you always going to have to, like, when mans are in with you, like, you have to have the ball, and then when now, they get the ball when you're out type of thing. Like, you don't want to have that, especially if you have, that's what I was saying, this potential is hella high because this potential is something like, when you look at it, it could be this elite if DeRozan and they mesh together in terms of DeRozan all of a sudden has a three-point shot. Let's say he's not, he's 28% for his career. Let's say he's just 35% or 33 to 35% from three, right? And he's actually consistently shooting them. That now adds more space in. That now, changes the dynamic. That means Lonzo could be himself and play, make ball handle, run PNRs with Levine, run PNRs with Vukovic, right? Mans won't have to sacrifice and spot up OD and not be as involved in the offense as they would be if they were just spotting up and DeRozan couldn't shoot and he has the ball handle, right? So this is where I'm saying the potential for this to be hella great it's there. It's not like it's far off or anything like that. DeRozan just has to gain a three-point shot, and then this potential could skyrocket. Because I can't see how much if they could reach that same potential that I'm talking about, if they could reach it with DeRozan being the same DeRozan that he's been. That's why the potential is high, because even with the DeRozan that he's been, they can still do some damage. But when you now come to playoffs and great teams are testing you and is now coaching and schemes and all of that, you would want ideally to have DeRozan be able to shoot and Lonzo still be able to ball handle and create. Like Zach LaVine's still able to ball handle and create. Mans don't just have to spot up because DeMar could spot up, right? Vukovic, PNR with LaVine, Vuk. PNR with Lonzo, Vuk. PNR with, LaVine and DeRozan. PNR pick to switch or whatever, maybe with, LaVine and Lonzo and stuff like that. Or also with Lonzo and DeRozan. Like, there's a lot of combinations and a lot of things that you could do, if at the end of the day, DeRozan takes and makes these threes. That's the step. Other than that, I'm hella skeptical. But that's the step. It's just whether he's going to do it or not. And that's why I'm saying, like, it's under the radar, this Bulls dynamic. But I think that it could be very, very special. And I just hope. I always like to see players advance. Even though I know a lot of y'all say I roast DeRozan and you do this and do that and all that type of stuff. And I mean, I guess from your perspective, yes, but it's never the player himself. It's always just rating the ability that you see. Rating the ability that you see, and based on the ability that you see, X, Y, and Z, and this, that. And that's kind of how I go about everything. And, like I was saying, obviously, when it comes to DeRozan, I've never hated him or anything like that. I never had. It's just calling it what it is, being real to the core. And being real, even if it means it makes another player look like anus when you're just kind of just equating and just analyzing and just breaking down their games, right? You're not actually just, you're kind of just analyzing at the end of the day. So, at the end of the day, man, when you look at it from that perspective, I just hope that he gets a shot and he just changes his game. You always would want a guy to advance his game, advance his skill set, and be more than just what his limitations kind of have him at. You always want him to break through. You always want him to not have as much limitations and stuff like that. And when you look at it from that perspective, obviously, man, it's like, bruh, you want this, like I was saying, the potential could be hella high with DeRozan splashy, if you ask me, and hitting threes. But we never know. And there's, it's kind of false hope to actually hope that he's doing that, because it's been an ongoing, is DeRozan going to shoot the threes now? He's going to shoot the threes. He hits maybe to start the season, and then all of a sudden fades out, doesn't do it no more. All of that type of stuff. So it's been, something that hasn't been actually, something you could believe in, or you could be like, okay, this is guaranteed. He's gonna improve his shot. Guaranteed, he's gonna shoot more. Like I don't know. Maybe he can. Maybe he won't. It's 50-50, right? But at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to for real. And we'll see another thing too, how they run their offenses. Do they start Daniel Tice? Like doing stuff like that is just fugazi. Doing stuff like that is like, are you really gonna work as a fit? Are you really gonna work, right? So, at the end of the day, man, like I was saying, and like we were saying, basically, it just comes down to DeRozan spacing out. Are you going to run a different offense, a different set? What's going on? Or DeRozan catching and shooting as well, too, as well as spacing out, and he's able to shoot. And, we go from there. So, obviously, it's, you already know, man. It's True Talks, because True Talks. Share, like, and subscribe. We out here. There's no doubt here. There's no drought here. You feel me? Click that notification button so you know when I'm here, because I'm here. You feel me? I appreciate y'all. Again, man, I see the Bulls. I can see them creating some ruckus, creating some noise and, putting in that work. But at the end of the day, you got to understand that, man, not all teams or not all, just because the Nets make it look easy doesn't mean any team can just fit and gel like that. There's weaknesses, you know what I mean? You have to have unlimited ability. The more unlimited ability you have, the less weaknesses you have, the easier it is to just boom. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That's when now you can just mesh, and it doesn't matter who does what, because we could do everything. Everyone could do all. We could post. I could catch and shoot. I can ball handle. I could have high usage. I could spot up. I could do whatever. I could come off curl screens. I could come off, pin downs. I could do all of that. So when you look at it, staggered, flare, all of that, when you look at it, obviously that's where now, you can see that, okay. Okay, the Nets are different, and not everybody, not all teams, not all meshing is created equally. Not all of it. So, obviously, people, because of that reason, are assuming the Bulls, even the Lakers, and assuming some of these teams are just going to be, straight right at it right away. But, my question for this Bulls team to fit, man, to fit for real. So, again, we'll see how it transpires, and we'll see how it plays out. But at the end of the day, like I said, it's True Talks, because True Talks, you already know. I appreciate y'all, man. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. You already know, man. I appreciate y'all. And I'm out, man.